I'm Michael Stack with AMAX, and welcome back to the Tipping Point mini-series, where we're reviewing the elements discussed by Malcom Gladwell in the book The Tipping Point, how little things can make a significant difference when you're trying to implement change, when you're starting to try to implement an epidemic of proper work comp management to reduce your work comp costs and really create a better outcome for your injured workers. In the first series, I talked about the law of the few, and really that's very relevant when you're trying to get buy-in to your program. The CEO and senior management are on board, but don't forget about those employees that have an influence over others. They have those innate skills, the connectors, the mavens, and the salespeople. In this session, I want to talk about the stickiness factor and how memorable your message is. So maybe you've created a brochure, maybe you've done some training, maybe you've had safety meetings in regards to your work comp management, but you're not getting your claims reported timely, which is really where this is very, very important in how memorable your message is, particularly at the time of injury, to get that claim reported immediately. You have a very low cooperation or a very low implementation rate in getting those claims reported. Here's the study, Yale University, 1960s. What they were trying to do is get their students to get the tetanus shot. It was a free tetanus shot at the health clinic. They did two different types of brochures, a high fear and a low fear, and they wanted to see if it made a difference in really gory photos of what happens if you get tetanus and why you should get the shot, and then a less intrusive or a less fearful brochure. Here's what was interesting, that a month later, only 3% of students ended up getting the shot. Very, very low cooperation with what they were trying to do. And it didn't matter whether they were in the high fear or the low fear group to get those outcomes. Oftentimes, it's not the quality of the message. And you're beating your head against the wall of why aren't my employees reporting their claims when I've told them 100 times? Maybe it's the way that you're telling them that's going to make a difference. In this study, all they did is they put a map of the campus, of where the health center is, as well as the times that it was open. And they saw those rates increase to 28% of their students cooperating and going to get the shot. It didn't matter what the message was from these groups. It was both relatively equal. So when you're trying to get buy-in, when you're trying to get cooperation, particularly with your claims reporting for your program, don't forget or discount the stickiness factor of how you're packaging the message. Maybe you have an injury triage hotline and you need to give them a wallet card. You need to put it on your lanyard. You need to create a new sign. You need to make some changes and do some testing in how you're displaying or packaging that message. Remember the stickiness factor in getting your claims reported. I'm Michael Stack with AMAX. This is the Tipping Point in Workers' Compensation mini-series. And remember, your success in workers' compensation is defined by your integrity. So be great.